Welcome back. I'm Dan Morfitt, and it's the final part of this daily rundown. Time now to look at some of the more unusual stories that have been making the news with Zia and Wendy. I say making the news with Zia and Wendy. They're not part of these stories, but if you are, I'm bloody impressed. Now, I haven't seen any of these myself, so I don't know what's coming next. So, Producer Jack, do not fail us now. Here we go. First, a romantic story. A man flew to China to meet a woman he had fallen in love with online. He waited for the woman of his dreams at the airport for 10 days. 10 days. But she did not show up. He would have waited longer, but he was hospitalised due to exhaustion. So, on this, is love dead? This is a crazy story. I read about this. It's a Dutch guy who met a girl on the internet, and he goes, I'm going to come to China. We're gonna meet up. We're going to see if this love that we've fostered online is real. Didn't turn up.
That's very beautiful.
Is there any information about how long this love was fostered for online?
I think a few months.
A few months, yeah. You'd be pretty gutted. But you might have made some checks and inquiries.
I cultivated somebody once. I wanted to have a lodger, so I
cultivated.
Yes, I cultivated
Some would say groomed.
An online relationship with a Chinese lady, and she said that she was a doctor on one of the cruise ships, and when she came to Liverpool Port, she was going to come and live at my house. And I was all in favour of this, and she sent me her passport photo. So I guess I did sort of tick one, was get some sort of validation of her name. And I had her email, but then she just stopped corresponding. Yeah.
That's just rude. I've been told that this Dutch bloke was talking to this woman for 2 months online. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why he waited the 10 days. Because, 5 days is not enough to take the hint.
Hey, I must tell you a couple of secrets about UKIP leaders, right? I know 2 UKIP politicians married to Russians who they found online.
That's quite nice, though.
It is.
I met my wife online.
Yes, if only they weren't UKIP. I mean, I like, Russians. I like marrying abroad.
That's your opinion.
I'm an immigrant, right? But for them to not like immigrants and then marry these immigrants.
Love goes beyond politics, as we all know. Right, let's move on to our second story.
Go on, then.
Now, the final nail in the coffin for David Cameron's political career was hammered in last week when his wax figure was removed from Madame Tussaud's. That's quick. Cameron's slightly less shiny counterpart was moved into storage following his resignation. Do you think this is quite a blow for the ego?
No. I don't think he's going to be overly fussed. Okay, and to be honest, I'm surprised. Is Madame Tussaud still the big deal that it was? I mean, are people really bothered about wax statues anymore, including those people who've had them of themselves?
Yeah, I don't know. I like the really bad waxworks models. Some like seaside places have got waxworks museums, but they're not quite the quality. So they look slightly melty anyway. I like those places. Maybe we could get David Cameron's head and stick a wick.
Excuse me, can I just ask, who's David Cameron?
Oh! That's possibly more cutting than having his whole body removed.
There's no legacy.
No legacy at all.
No.
Wow. We have just cut David Cameron down in two, and we've not even spoken about the incident. The incidents. Moving on to story number 3. Is your dog too what? Is your dog too sophisticated for water? What are we writing here? Well, fret no more, as a company has just released a line of dog wine for the more upmarket pup. Oh, so instead of... I thought you meant swimming. Drinking. The 2 drinks, Zinfandel and Chardonnay, will be available to dog owners everywhere very, very soon. Now, surely these dog wines will make you feel rough.
Right, I have to confess, right? I have so many slugs. I give them beer, and then they die. I do. I make a beer trap for the slugs. That's how you get rid of slugs. And they go in there, and then they die. And then every couple of days, I have to clear that out into the grid.
So yeah, have you ever got an animal drunk?
No, I mean, it's not really the Muslim thing to do, is it? To take it out on the animals. But I'm just trying to think now. What would the Sharia position be on?
That's
obviously,
right.
you can't drink yourself.
Right. No.
In relation to your pets.
Yeah.
I think the answer is still no.
Still no.
Is the dog of a Muslim dog?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. Those names of wine. I don't. These have got to be American because that's not even a pun. Zinfandel.
Well, Well, they're desperate to make a profit.
Chardonnay.
No, let's just tell a story from my little hometown here in Salford, where I live. We're having a sort of boycott of one of the local pet shops because they're doing this puppy farming. They're out to make money, and they'll abuse the animals. So really, to give an animal wine is obviously ridiculous, stupid thing to do, and they shouldn't be making money out of it, and it should be banned.
I think we're all agreed on this. Making dogs drunk is a stupid, ludicrous thing to do. Although I have seen a dog have a pint before.
Have you?
Yeah, but it was, you know when a dog's really, really warm, really, really hot,
Well,
and just needs some liquid.
Yeah.
I've seen a dog have a pint before, just amazing. It was a good, it was a good ale as well.
Never seen that.
Right, let's move on to our next story. Oh, guess what? It's a Donald Trump story. Hollywood star Clint Eastwood has defended Donald Trump's racist remarks and has suggested that people should get over it. In an interview, he blames oversensitive youth and political correctness. The 86-year-old star, actor with no name, also said, "When I grew up, those things weren't called racist." No, of course not, Clint.
Is he really grown up? That's the question.
I don't know, but this does sound like the ramblings of a racist grandfather. Dirty Harry is finally living up to his name. What do we think about this? Clint Eastwood backing Donald Trump.
I favour maturity. I'm going to just come out, right? I'm a mature person, and I like being mature, and I want all my family and friends to be mature. And if some American tells me it's boring, I have to say in a mature way, you're wrong. It's not that it's boring, it's good, it's goodness.
Zia, was Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood, a little bit of a hero? Does this change things, or?
It does. He was a big hero of mine, actually, growing up. I watched all the Clint Eastwood films, and you thought he's one cool guy. But now, 86-year-old Clint Eastwood is saying that when he was growing up, and you look back at it, you think, well, did you miss the kind of civil rights movement and what people were fighting for? And you were kind of around then, and
Well, I don't understand. There was a film the last few years, Gran Torino, which is all about racism within a mixed neighbourhood, and in that he plays a cantankerous old racist man who I think hates some kid from Vietnam or something, that the family from Vietnam that have moved in, and he becomes friends with a Vietnamese lad. It's like he's learned nothing from his own films.
It's quite a sensitive film in the end, that you think that, it's poignant. He'd kind of, it seemed to have learnt from this experience of being with these people who were other until they moved in next door. But now, so again, I think there's part of me that wants to give him the benefits of the doubt and say maybe he's been misquoted to some extent and they've kind of sensationalised whatever he did say. Because I'd like to think that 86-year-old Clint has seen enough of the world to realise that that kind of nonsense just doesn't play.
I've just realised something. Donald Trump might be Clyde. He might be his orangutan. He might be, just that orange hair and stuff like that. And finally, a naughty owl has almost got into trouble with the police for refusing to move. 2 police officers from the Thames Valley Force asked the owl politely to move from the middle of the road. When the owl refused, they threatened him with arrest, and the owl went on his way. I bet that turned a few heads. That's awful, Jack. That is an awful joke. So have you ever had any trouble with owls or any other animals that you may or may not have got drunk, Wendy?
I don't usually have trouble with animals in the middle of the road, no.
You normally just run them over in the great American way.
I have hit 1 or 2 deer. I'm sorry to say.
You've hit deer? Not in the UK?
I ran over in the USA, and I ran over a big snake once. It was terrible. I was in a rented car, and I was going too fast, and the snake was 6 feet long. It was an absolute tragedy,
Sia, have you ever caused any animal atrocities like Wendy's just admitted to?
No,
killing deer and snakes?
Complete pacifist when it comes to animals, unlike Wendy. But maybe to be fair, in the suburbs of Liverpool, we don't really get 6 foot long snakes in the middle of the road, and not that I've noticed. So maybe we're been spared. But the deer, that's a great story.
Yeah. I doubt there's any deer in...
The thing you got to realise about the police, if you see an owl in the middle of the road, right, don't walk up to the owl, because it will hurt you. So the police knew this. I know stuff like this. I grew up in a forest, right?
It will hurt you.
You can get a stick, maybe, or you can run, but you don't walk up to an owl.
But you can't hide, because owls will always chase you down.
The owl's beak, right, and the owl's talons, you are going to get so hurt. Just don't go there.
It's been a bit of a weird turn of events, just at the end, as per usual with you, Wendy.
Well, I know stuff that it just doesn't show. like many people. I mean,
Deer and
full of
snake
mysteries.
killer that does not mess with owls. And Zia is completely innocent, which is thankful to find out. Right, I think that's time to wrap up the Daily Rundown for another week, because it just always gets bizarre at this time of night.
Excuse me, Dan, what's your badge there?
Oh, that's a ram.
And why have you got a ram badge?
I don't know. Thanks to my guests this evening, Wendy Olsen and Zia Chowdhury, MBE, and to Forager Dave for his woodland treats. I'm Dan Morfitt, and from everybody here, including producer Jack and Adam in the gallery, have a ace rest of the week. Great weekend too. Bye.